Welcome to a new Daily Top AskReddit video. Today's topic.
What was the biggest surprise about the other gender that you never knew about? Men's ball sack change depending on the temperature. Lol reminds me of my HS girlfriend, both virgins. We got to going at it and she was down there giving a BJ. She was super shy, iffy about it, so the only way she could do it was if she put a sheet, towel, blanket over my head so I couldn't see her doing it. Now imagine you're getting a BJ, then you hear a very concerned sounding OMG. Probably not something you want to hear. So I get a bit nervous and go, what? Something wrong, what is it? And I whip off the sheet. There she is with it in her hand and she goes, I was sucking on it and it started getting bigger, it grows. So, sex ed wasn't taught in your school. I learned that the penis changes size in sex ed class. When I was a boy, I was over at my friend's house and his dad was out running an errand. We snooped around and found his dad's deck of pornographic playing cards and started looking at them. I'd never seen a naked female at the time, and one of the first cards I happened to see showed a female with, beef curtains, and it freaked me the fuck out. That's what they look like down there! Exclamation mark. I remember thinking to myself. That night, I shit you not, I had a nightmare about a naked chick with super long labia chasing me through a city bus. Still cracks me up to this day, almost 30 years later. Not just the ballsack pensive face. I was in the pool! Exclamation mark. When I was in a summer camp when I was 14, the leaders of the camp usually put up the water temperature on a blackboard every morning so we would know if it was okay to swim. One morning they just typed PPRP, which we learned was an acronym for Pansarpung and Russen Penis, or, roughly, translated to English, armor sack and raisin penis. It was cold, but it was accurate. When I was a kid, diaper commercials all showed a hand pouring blue liquid into the diaper. Later, I saw a pad commercial that did the same thing. So for years, I thought women lost their bladder control once a month and had to wear mini diapers. And also, women and babies pee blue. I thought women were using pads for urine when I was a kid. Because my parents deliberately told me so when I asked. Reminds me of when I got the sex talk, but my mom didn't tell me about jizz and said that the guy pees into the girl LMAO. That a guy can accidentally sit on his balls. I assumed they retracted. ETA, I saw it happen only once. Dude fell down hard after. We have a secret button to retract them, just we sometimes forget to do it when we sit. And sometimes the buttons don't work either. My brother was taking a crap at work and his boss rushed in to take a thumper dumper in the stall next to him and he sat down hard on his balls. He sprung up and threw his back out in the process while pooping all over the floor. He was half under my brother's stall at that point and my brother wiped, grabbed a bunch of paper towels to give him and got the ERT, who called an ambulance. He said the hardest part of the whole thing was not laughing his ass off until he left to get the ERT. OMG, I am dying, tears of joy rolling on the floor, laughing tears of joy. I would have been fired for sure because I'm crying laughing so hard just reading this. I can't even imagine being there. And his boss LMAO. That men don't actually shit for an hour, it's the get away peace and quiet time. I was thinking every man had IBS. It's a lot of time browsing Reddit, reading posts like these. There is something so deeply soothing about scrolling Reddit while taking a shit. I think maybe because it's the one time of the day I don't feel guilty for using social media, as I have nothing better to do anyways. Then your legs fall asleep and you have to shuffle them on the floor to try and wake them up. When you get up you almost collapse because your legs went from the asleep phase into the weird and tingly phase. Maybe I just have bad circulation. I didn't know that peeing for men is so complicated. Apparently it can shoot in different directions and split streams. Why haven't there been more effective toilet urinal models? It can triple and quadruple stream too. Maybe the worst is pissing with a hard-on that won't go away. Have to lean forward and balance on the wall and push your dick down and hope you can bend it far enough to hit the bowl, but then you can't pee that well. I like to soften it up a bit by slamming the toilet lid down on it a few times. I sit down when I pee because I'm 6 feet 3 inches and slot can go wrong from that height. Also 6 feet 3. Also sit down. Got real tired of piss droplets bouncing back out of the toilet bowl. That your periods can last for multiple weeks if you are coming off birth control, like WTF, my girlfriend here is bleeding for 2 weeks now and doctors are just shrugging like yeah it's a typical side effect, crazy. That's awful. Not the same situation, but after having my second kid my period didn't come back until she was 14 months old and I bled for a month straight. My doctor was unbothered, but it sucked. Exclamation mark. It was a running joke in my friend's circle that the first period after pregnancy makes up for all the periods you missed, so if your period came back after like 2 months it'd be milder than if it came back after 9 months, for example. Or, I thought it was a joke until it happened to me, 11 months with first baby, and holy hell I was not prepared for the reality of that period. The next one was also pretty shocking, then it went back to normal. Okay, but also women's medical issues get wildly dismissed, so advocate for her if it seems suspicious, please. You can also just bleed for months. People with endo and PCOS know what I mean. Lost my uterus cause of this. The amount of times I was dismissed and put on every birth control under the sun was nuts. And spoiler, none of the birth control could control it. Loudly crying took me 13 years to find a doctor who listened to me. How intense periods can be. It can literally change a person for a couple days, every month. It can also feel like someone stabbing your uterus, every month. That's a week out of your life every month battling with mood swings, abdominal cramps and constant bleeding, mess for up to a week or more. Utmost respect for women. It also changes what we can do socially, as there are a lot of things that can make a period worse or that woken just can't do while on a period. Drinking coffee can make them worse, and swimming for a lot of girls is also a no-go. I also had no idea how massively they vary from woman to woman, like anywhere from basically debilitating in bed for a week level every month for one woman to lasts 3 days and barely notices level to another. Also they get vastly different in like all aspects, yeah. PMS also is massively different, some women never have it, others have it for a week or more beforehand. Mine were so bad I contemplated suicide every month, got sterilized a year ago, and I've not bled or wanted to KMS since. OMG, congrats on the sterilization, that's awesome. Glad to hear it has provided you relief both physically and mentally. How did you manage to get taken seriously by the medical staff to get to that point? I keep being told I'm too young, and what if I want kids later? I'm almost 30. Their peepees float. They do. 0. More like neutral buoyancy. Imagine a dick in space. So do boobs. Don't know about you, but my boobs are too firmly attached for me to notice the float. When my wife said, sometimes women don't want our problems fixed, we just want to vent about them. I think my brain broke in that moment. I still struggle with this one, tbh. Ladies can flex their lady parts, making it tighter or looser. That's how they steal your soul. Works every time. Can confirm, got my soul stolen twice this week. That's how we can fake an orgasm and make you believe it. Two-face with hand over mouth shushing face. Basically how women make a guy come. All they have to do is give you the death grip down there. And party is over. Open mouth smile. Calm down with the secret shares. First time my wife tried to fake one, I called her out on it, told her to just be honest. If she doesn't want to finish, to not fake it, just use her words. Also, if you have given a few real ones, you get better at knowing the involuntary movement that leads up to know if it's real or not. Guys can use those same muscles to make our dicks jump around and pulse. Playing her timpani with my beef stick like I'm Gene Krupa down there. Oh yeah, that was a sexy sentence, alright. That the penis could possibly get stuck on the zipper. I'm so sorry fellas, the pain is indescribable. It bleeds quite a bit as well. Is it the Frank or the beans? We've got a bleeder. Let's just say things were a bit lower than expected when I first got with a girl, lol. I tried going where I thought it was, you could almost park a truck between. Went for the belly button, huh? Yep. I think this is one of those embarrassing moments that almost every guy has gone through. Mine took the form of, it's a little bit lower, Comdegas. She then proceeded to grab me by the hair and direct me to the proper location, something I still find useful 25 years later. Which, hair. As a teen I didn't know guys have erections all the time throughout the day. You have no idea. And some of them are caused by absolutely nothing. It just pops up and goes away in a few minutes. While thinking about the Roman Empire. Pitching a random tent for no apparent reason is absolute terror for every teenage boy out there. Class is about to let out. Boner time! Exclamation mark. In the teens and 20s, yeah. Once you hit your 30s and beyond and your testosterone starts to lower, all of a sudden you sometimes find yourself arguing with it, trying to get it to do its job, like Bruce Banner yelling at the Hulk in Infinity War. Arguments are also caused by excessive alcohol, which somehow helps getting into situations to use such equipment, but also causes equipment failure and disappointment. Really surprised me when I learned girls don't poop. If they had buttholes, why would guys be gay? Question mark. Exactly. How men can move the dick on their own woozy face. Both genders have the same ability to move their pelvic floor muscles, but for men it just makes the dick bounce, harden an erection, and for women it tightens the vaginal walls. Exactly, I knew that, but when I saw it in real life, I was very surprised. Cold sweat smile, cold sweat smile. Next time you're hanging out with a naked guy, move his balls. Just shift them to another position and wait. They will, on their own, shift back to the position they were in before. And it's so weird the way they move. Testicles are so silly. You just convinced a bunch of Redditors to play with their balls. Here's a fun one. Next time you're hanging out with a naked guy, while he is laying on his back, you gently run your fingertips across his inner thigh. Balls will move. Urethra and vagina are two different holes. Wait till you learn about the butthole, too. No way. 3 holes. Exclamation mark. OMG, my mother thought this. Zero sex ed. She's married, birthed multiple kids. She questioned how I could wear tampons and doesn't it get annoying having to take 'em out every single time I pee. I told her technically I didn't have to, though most times I did. She was appalled. She thought my tampon would just be in there soaked in piss. That conversation turned hilarious real fast. How the heck this woman didn't know, I have no idea.